Your husbands, the majority of the people who follow us on I Believe in Marriage, the majority of the people who follow are women. But this conversation is for your husband. I want to share with your husband the 3 reasons you may seem frustrated in your marriage. He's trying to figure out, why is my wife frustrated? Why does she not feel or seem fully satisfied? I want to share with him the 3 reasons why. Now, ladies, here's your assignment. Your assignment is to listen to the 3 reasons I'm about to give. And what you're going to do is communicate to your husbands which of the 3 resonate with you. Now, here is the thing. If one of the reasons I share, none of the reasons I share resonate with you, that's okay. You tell him what is your frustration in the marriage. Now, sis, ain't no such thing as not having any frustration. Like, there is some area that all of us want to improve in our marriage. Frustration doesn't mean that you're not happily married. That does not mean that. So I'm going to share the 3 reasons I think you may be frustrated. Call your husband. Tell him I said to send this to him, right? Go ahead and send this to his DM right now. If your husband is anything like mine, I can't send it to his DM because he don't be in them DMs. Unless I send him to his DMs, he don't be in them DMs. So if your husband is anything like mine, you may have to just text him the link. But use this as a jumpstart to your conversation. Whenever I'm coming on live here and I Believe in Marriage, use it as a jumpstart to conversation. Now, I am rarely sharing just from my perspective, very rarely. I am sharing from the perspective of 17 years. Really, when it comes to my work with couples, is much longer than 17 years, but I am sharing 17 years of insight, 17 years of being in the trenches with couples, these many, many years of training I have done in this area. Why am I sharing this? I'm going to talk about this probably next week, but you got to be careful about listening to listening to people's preference over the principle. Many couples are getting caught up because you are listening to people's preference when it comes to marriage and not the principle of marriage. And so I am sharing with you what I have witnessed and what I have studied why many women are frustrated in their marriage, all right? So go get your husband, girl. Go get your husband. If you're just coming on, let me tell you how to use this video. Share this video with your husband. I'm going to share the 3 reasons his wife just may be frustrated in her marriage. If all 3 resonate with you, then great. If only 1 resonates with you, you can throw me under the bus. You can say, I don't agree with those first 2 Robin said, but this 3rd one is right in line with me. If none of them resonate, I want you to say, here's your script. I love me some Robin. Now, those 3 things don't resonate with me. I love me some Robin at the front. I love me some Robin. Those 3 things don't resonate with me, but I want to share with you why I'm frustrated. All right. So this one is for my fellas, to all the husbands. I know that you find yourself confused because you feel like, I am trying my best. I want to be a good husband. It just seems like she's not satisfied, or she's frustrated, or we're good, but I know we could be better. I want to share with you the 3 reasons, and then I gotta go, y'all. I gotta go. I have to go find some shoes for my daughter's homecoming. It's my homecoming. Go Clark Atlanta University. I have to get down to campus. I gotta go. I can't be on this live with y'all all night. Okay? Okay, let me give you the 3 reasons. Number 1, husbands, this is for you. This is for you. You owe me big time, fellas, for giving these to you. Here's the first reason your wife may seem frustrated in her marriage. Because she does not feel fully supported by you. She does not feel fully supported. Now, let me explain, because I know you feel like I'm holding her down. But, brother, I want you to understand your wife is tired. She is tired. She is exhausted. She feels like she is juggling all the dynamics, all the demands of making y'all's life work. Your wife is frustrated because she doesn't feel fully supported by you. She doesn't sense that you are helping her carry a lot of the weight that's on her shoulders. And here's the reality. Even if you feel like your wife is carrying some things that she shouldn't be carrying, she's carrying it. And so she's frustrated because she is not feeling fully supported by you. And what you are doing is you're listing all the ways you are supporting her. But here's the thing. If my left shoulder is itching and you are scratching my knee, then my itch isn't being dealt with. Baby. Now that was good. I don't see no hearts, baby. That deserves some hearts. That was good. If my left shoulder is itching and you are scratching my knee, you may think, thank you. Somebody, thank you. Look, if my left shoulder is itching and you are scratching my knee, you feel like I'm putting in the work. I'm putting in the work. And I appreciate you scratching my knee. But it's my left shoulders that's itching. And so I know, husband, you feel like I'm holding her down. I'm doing all these things. But if you aren't doing the things that she feels like she needs, it's not scratching the itch. One of the things I say to my husband all the time is help me the way I need to be helped, not the way you've decided to help. Help me the way I need to be helped. Quite frankly, he's had to throw that back in my face. You see how I frame that? He has to throw that back in my face. He's had to say, don't you always say, help me the way I need to be helped? So number one, the reason why your wife may seem like she's not fully satisfied or she's feeling frustrated, you feel like we keep going around in the same circles. Number one, she doesn't feel fully supported by you. Now, fellas, I want to say this. I don't want you to get frustrated. I'm saying it. Your wife is not saying this. I'm saying it, and I want you to hear my heart. I have had the honor, and I count it an honor, to be in the trenches with so many couples, and I've communicated one-on-one with so many husbands. And one of the things husbands tell me is, I want to be the head of the household. I want to be the man of the house. And I'm going to wait to another live to tell you what my dad told me about that. I'm going to come back to that. But what I want to say right now is this. Many women are asking themselves, what does it mean for him to be the head of the house when it feels like I'm taking care of all the stuff? I'm handling all the logistics. I'm delegating all the things. So what does it really mean for him to be the head of the household? I'm not telling you your wife is saying that. I'm just telling you that's what I've heard wives say. And so I want you, husband, to ask your wife, does she feel like that? Okay, so that's number one. If you are just coming on, I am sharing with the husbands. This conversation is for all the husbands. Y'all are good men. Y'all love your wife. My goal in marriage and to help couples, my goal is for husbands to be at the barbershop and not have a complaint about their wife. When all the other men are complaining about their wives, I want the couples that I work with, for those husbands to be sitting there like, I don't have nothing they have to make something up. I want my husband to be at the barbershop. He don't really go to the barbershop. One of his best friends cuts his hair. But if he did, I want him to be at the barbershop saying, man, she always cheering me on. I mean, it get on my nerves. She be cheering me on. I want him to have to come up with something. And it's the same way for wives, husbands. I want your wives to be at the beauty shop, which y'all see I need to go. Here's the deal. I don't think that busyness is a badge of honor. It's a problem when you are too busy to go get your tracks redone. So I need to be at the beauty shop. But look, my goals for the wives that I work with, for you to be at the beauty shop. And when everybody else is dogging their husband, you sitting there like, that's your man, sis. That's not mine. And you're trying to come up with something. So I'm sharing with you, husbands, the 3 reasons your wife just may be frustrated in her marriage. And number 1, she doesn't feel fully supported by you. And I want you to hear me. This doesn't mean that you aren't trying. It just may mean you're putting your energy in some areas that's not addressing what she really needs. All this requires is a conversation. All right. So the second reason she may feel frustrated in her marriage is that as much as she knows that you love her, she doesn't feel heard by you. She doesn't feel heard by you. Now, this is pretty common because we communicate differently. Men stereotypically communicate differently than women. Women stereotypically communicate differently with husbands. And watch this, even if you and your spouse find yourselves on the opposite end of the normal way that a woman talks, maybe in your marriage, the way you communicate as a wife, you tend to lean more to how they describe a man communicating, and vice versa. The way men are normally described communicating, your husband does the opposite. It doesn't matter. But often in marriage, we don't feel heard by one another. Now, what I often hear marriage experts say is that we got to work on our communication. And as much as I love my fellow men and women that are in the area of supporting couples, as much as I respect them, I have just found that 99.9% of the time, it's not the actual communication. There are strategies we can use to improve communication. And if y'all want me to talk about that, DM me and we can do a whole live just talking about some of the mechanics of communication, right? There are mechanics: using I statements, lowering your voice, giving examples. We can talk about the mechanics, but 99.9% of the time, it's not actually the words you are speaking. When your communication is broken, it's often connected to your connection. And so your wife may feel frustrated because she doesn't feel heard by you. When she is expressing herself, when she is sharing with you her heart, when she is bringing things to you, she feels shut down by you. She feels ignored, or she feels minimized. She doesn't feel heard by you. So fellas, the question you can ask your wife, if you're watching this, listen, watch this. I just felt this come up on me. Fellas, if you have this conversation with your wife and you DM me with her permission, she needs to watch you in the DM. She needs to watch you in the DM. She needs to be over your shoulder, okay? If you DM me, I will give her 20% off of the Wives Camp. The Wives Camp starts on this Monday, but here's the deal. The Wives Camp's doors are open from October 21st till December 1st. We won't open it again until 2025. And so if you DM me and you had this conversation with her, I will give her 20% off of the Wives Camp. And baby, you want her in the Wives Camp. So fellas, this is the conversation you are going to have with your wife. You're going to say to her, Robin is saying that sometimes women don't feel heard by their husband. Does that apply to me? Because if it does, I really want to improve in that area. Sir, I'm all up in the screen. If you say that to your wife, name the baby after me. If you say that to your wife, my middle name is Monique. You can name the baby Monique, baby. Say that to your wife, okay? If you're watching this well after the Wives Camp has started, no worries. You can still get 20% off if you DM me. If the doors are closed, if you're watching this in 2025 and the doors are closed, just remind me, we'll do another challenge then. We'll do another challenge. I can't keep this one open all the way to 2025, but I want you to DM me if you have that conversation. Your wife has to confirm that you had the conversation. So the first reason that she doesn't seem satisfied, or she may feel frustrated in the marriage, because she doesn't feel fully supported by you. The second reason is that she doesn't feel fully heard by you. And here is number 3. The third reason your wife may not seem as satisfied as you'd want to, or it seems like y'all keep going around the same thing, or y'all stay on the roller coaster of crazy, honey. The third reason is that she doesn't feel prioritized by you. She does not feel prioritized by you. Can I tell you the truth? If I had to point to any of these 3, if I didn't understand the season of life that my husband and I were in, this is probably what I would say. And it's not even that I'm just blaming him. I probably am not prioritizing him to the degree that I need to prioritize him, because it's the demands of our life in this season. It is literally so many things pulling at us. And whatever you neglect dies. Let me tell it to you again. Whatever you neglect dies. And what many couples find happening is they put their marriage on the back burner of their life. I call it intentional neglect. It's not your intention to neglect your marriage. It's not your intention to neglect your spouse. But whatever you neglect dies. Whatever you don't water, whatever you don't tend to, you can't expect what you don't inspect. And if you are not intentionally turning towards your wife, she does not feel prioritized by you. She sees you handling the business. And fellas, now I'm going to have to come to Jesus with you now, fellas. Now, I've been taking it gentle, but I'm going to give it to you straight. What you are probably saying is that I'm bringing in the money. I'm working hard. But when you stood at that altar and you gave your vows, you did not say, I promise that I'm going to work so hard that you are going to feel like you don't have a spouse. You're going to feel like a married single mother. You're going to feel like just like your single girlfriends. When you stood at the altar, you did not say that. Now, she may be expecting some things from you that you feel are unreasonable, but that is worth a conversation. She probably doesn't feel frustrated. She probably feels frustrated because she doesn't feel prioritized by you. And it could be like I'm putting my marriage out there for you all. It could be vice versa. My husband very well could be saying the same thing to me, but we want to make sure that we take our marriage off the back burner and we make it priority. And what priority looks like to you is different from what priority looks like for me and my husband. How you all turn towards one another is different from how your mom and them turn toward one another. You just want to make sure that you are prioritizing your I do. So this conversation was for all the fellas. There are 3 reasons your wife just may feel frustrated in the marriage. Number 1, she just doesn't feel as fully supported as she wants to feel. Number 2, she doesn't feel heard by you. And then number 3, she doesn't feel prioritized by you. And so husbands, if you are watching this, your go-to is to listen to these 3 things. Take it to your wife and say, honey, do any of these apply? If she says no, she says, I feel supported, I feel heard, and I feel prioritized. Then the follow-up question, because remember, over here at I Believe in Marriage, we practice curiosity. So then what you're going to say is there any area of improvement? Because I want to make sure that we have a growth mindset in our marriage and not a fixed mindset. We'll talk about that another time. I hope this helped you. Make sure that you share it. If this helped you, if this gave you an aha, if it's something about this conversation that really resonated with you, can you do me a favor? Can you comment below and can you share it? Because what that does is it moves it up the algorithm. The algorithm is trying to shut me down, baby. We're not going to have it over here because we are helping couples win in their marriage. So if this helped, will you share it? Will you post it and all the good things? All right. So I told y'all I got to go. I got to go get my daughter some shoes from homecoming. I'll see y'all next time.